Hey, I'm Tommy, and this week I'm going to show you how to make a punk beat with this free HTML5 drum machine. It's this really cool free website that just is a drum machine beat sequencer, and it's really fun. So these sounds aren't going to be like great. First I'll try and piece together this beat and try and show y'all how to use it, and I'll show you how to export each beat and like what to do with them once you've made it. And as long as you keep in mind that these sounds aren't going to be like traditional like punk drum sounds, I think it's possible to make some really interesting beats with this thing, even if you're just bored one day. And so if you wanted to write a whole song using this thing with like drum fills and different parts that change on drums, you could. It's probably not like the most efficient way to make beats, but it's free. But yeah, let's try it. Dreampipe. Here's the website. I'm gonna go ahead switch to acoustic drum set because that's what I'm using for the punk beat today. So you have pattern A and you have pattern B, and you can just do one sequence on pattern A and one separate sequence on pattern B, and you can just switch back and forth whenever you want. We're gonna start out by just getting some kick in there. Play it. So it should be every 4 to start out. And get some snare. That's fine. So yeah, in the 3rd, 7, 11, 15. 3, 7, 11, 15 is where I put the snare. And I'm gonna bump the tempo up to 160, where I think that sounds like natural punk beat speed. And I'm gonna change the kick drum so it's not on every downbeat. I like it when the kick drum is slightly off the downbeat on the last one, so it's like 1, 2, 3, it's on like on the one and, I think. Yeah. So it's closer to where the snare hits, and it's not on the downbeat, it's on the upbeat, I think. That's just what vibe I get when listening to punk music and stuff, and that's how I play it in real life. So let's move on to hi-hat. And I like the closed hi-hat more than the open hi-hat with this one. So I'll just put those on every, I think it's like every 8th note, or maybe it's 16th notes, I'm not sure, I have no idea. It's so loud though, I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit. And I'm going to tune them down a little bit, bring the pitch down a little lower. Sounds a little dirtier. And I always like my drums to be a little bit lower than what seems to be like the norm. Especially snare too. Sounds almost industrial there. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things you can do with this program. Even the acoustic drum set sounds digital as fuck, in a cool way. Like, I think I'll leave the snare right around here. So there you go. There's a simple punk beat that you can make with this really quick. And what I'm gonna do here is put a little fill into the measure so I can see how the toms and stuff sound, show you how those sound. I'm going to put a kick on the downbeat of 1 and add a little, just a drum roll around the kit. So starting with snare, do 4 hits on the snare. And then I'm going to add some high tom. And a low tom, like a 4 tom. And a crash with the kick on the downbeat of 1. Yeah, so you could export each pattern separately and upload each pattern separately to GarageBand or whatever software you're using. Or you can just make the beat so it's a loop over and over again, and you can just loop that. Most punk songs aren't just the same measure played over and over again like some hip-hop songs are. So that aspect of making a punk song is going to be hard because traditionally in songs, like, there's at least like verse, chorus, and bridge, and some of them are slightly different on drums. Like you play hi-hat instead of the ride, or like floor tom, or you would add in fills, and that's hard to do with this. It would just be like super tedious having to like piece together each part in a separate software after you exported it and everything. But, you know, you don't have to. You could just like loop the same punk beat and yeah, it would work. So basically, I'll show you how to export this now. And I'm going to do the pattern B fill first because that's how I'm going to start the song. So I'll export pattern as wave, and it's recording now, so I'm going to do play. And I only need it once, so I'm just going to do that like that little amount of time. And I did export pattern as wave, and I downloaded it once it was finished. So now I'm going to do pattern A, export as wave, and now it's playing. Alright. So now I got that, and download recording. So now that I have those downloaded, I can open up my GarageBand, new project, and I'm going to do audio file with a drag and drop audio file option, and I'm going to rename this drum machine, and then I'll just go in and drag these 2 new files from my downloads folder. So there's the fill, and here's the beat. Turn the metronome off. All right. So I gotta cut that out. Right at the cymbal hit on the first downbeat of 1 and the new measure, which I think is right about there. And then I'm gonna find the other beat, chop that end off, and I'm gonna try and piece it together. It's probably gonna be hard to do. Let's see how that sounds. Alright, I'm going to try and copy this and put it at the end again. create my own little loop. Oh, bad. Oops. Let me try and see where this fits in. So it's right on that beat. So let me copy this. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah. So here's the whole thing. Yeah, so not the best sounding drum machine, not the best sounding drums, but it does work and you can use it and it's fun, so why not? I think everyone should mess with it, at least try it once. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope you learned something or at least thought it was interesting, entertaining. See ya.